Hi, and welcome to the String Cheeze Weekly number 12. String here, and just kind of going over the last week of creative endeavors. It has been a little lighter the last couple of weeks, mostly since I started doing this again. There's been a lot going on, a lot of interesting things, some progress here and there. But this last week mostly has been dominated by an incredibly stressful work week, which is unfortunate because the whole point of this is that you're supposed to put in the time anyway, and you're supposed to do it regardless of what's going on in life. But I kind of struggle with that this week. It just work took up most of my time, and when I wasn't working, it seemed like there was just always stuff going on. So I don't know. It was unfortunately frustrating. There is some kind of bright sides to it. One, the sketchbook, that I keep talking about. I have kept up posting a page a day. Now, there was something I don't think was too obvious, but I wasn't trying to hide this, is that I started drawing the sketchbook in the middle of December mostly. There's one page I think from November, and most of it was in December. And then I started drawing, after I started posting a page a day, I kept drawing. So I had a buffer of about a week worth of pages, and since this week, well, at least Monday to Friday part of it, was so busy with work and everything, I really made no progress on the sketchbook side of things, which is unfortunate. I did keep with the posting every day, I just ran out of my buffer, essentially. So, Saturday, because I had Sam and the boys over the whole weekend, which was nice. It was quite enjoyable to have kind of a weekend together to relax. I just did neglect drawing a little more than I should have, unfortunately. But on Saturday, I think it was we'd gone to bed. I woke up after an hour. It was almost midnight. No, it was something like that. But it basically was the super late. I didn't do this today, and I had no buffers. So that's when I drew. Let's see, this little demon guy, which he's up on Facebook and all my social media and stuff like that. So I'm not going to bother putting in the video because I always forget. So you can follow me on my Twitter, my Tumblr, Facebook, DeviantArt, all that stuff, and you can see the sketchbook stuff daily there. But which I have links down in the description if you are interested. But so I had to quickly draw this up, which I had sketched roughly the day before at work when things had finally calmed down a little bit. And then I had this guy for Sunday. And currently, if you look at the next page, this is Mondays, and I'm recording this on Monday because I'm a little late with the video this week. Same reasons as everything else. But so basically I ran out of my buffer, so now I'm kind of forcing myself to do a picture every day as well as posting it every day, which that was my intent. I just had the buffer just in case some days slipped here or there. I didn't plan to lose the buffer completely, but oh well. I'll try and build it back up. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, I'll dedicate more time this week to working on that sort of stuff. So regardless of stressfulness, I need to be better about dedicating that. I'm still doing way better than I was last year, and that's awesome. That's a step in the right direction. And even the sharing stuff every day, I still kind of feel a little weird about it. I feel like I'm spamming or whatever, but it's good. It's nice to kind of just post that stuff. And it's been a lot of fun to do traditional art because I feel less pressured to make it perfect. Because with digital, you can undo until it's perfect, essentially. You shouldn't, but you can, and that's unfortunately a habit I have that I'm trying to break. And by drawing traditionally, you can't do that. You could erase and you could fix things, but only to a certain extent. And especially when you're inking, which is what I keep doing with these, whatever's there is there. There's some ways to fix it, but I don't have them, and I'm not going to bother. So it's kind of a, let myself be imperfect and just do whatever. And that's been good. So, that aside, the comic, the anthology progress, I made most of my progress this weekend, where I sat down and started trying to actually start storyboarding and laying out thumbs, basically. And I'll be showing you those at some point here. Because I don't think in, scripts when I think of comics. I don't think of, okay, page 1, panel 1, such and such, looking off, page 1, panel 2, such and such says this, and this happens. I can't think of it in that way. It doesn't work for me. I have to visualize. I have to draw it out, and that helps doing it digitally, because I could, move pages and panels around if I need. But I could copy some if I need to make adjustments, make slight changes, stuff like that. But I need to create it visually, and something that kind of goes in hand with that. I don't really know which one came first, but I don't think I don't write dialogue for comics either, and I've got about 4 pages storyboarded, and it'll change. It's kind of rough. I don't know how to begin it exactly or end it, so things will shift around, probably. But, there's only, so far, one little part of dialogue in one little page, and that's kind of all there is. There might be more, but there's, sound effects, and that's about it. It's just kind of a side effect, I guess, of just kind of thinking more visually about it. And honestly, it's probably because when I first started really getting into art and comics and stuff like that, there was a comic called Homestuck that really inspired me, and I created a lot of stuff regarding it, and I did a lot of my own little comics in that style, most of which do not exist on the internet anymore, much to my dismay. But that style is a panel of an illustration and then narration describing what you need to know. It's a very storybook kind of method, and since that's kind of what inspired me when I started with, I read lots of other comics, more traditional ones too, but I think that's why I tend to not think with dialogue and words and stuff like that. I tend to prefer the visual storyboard stuff. So that's interesting enough. I think my comic might not have dialogue, and that might be super weird, especially in an anthology of a lot of people doing more normal comics, I would assume. And it might change because I've sketches out in little thumbs on the digital. I need to really visualize the size, because I think we're doing about a traditional comic book page, around 6x9 or whatever. I think there's an option for a little bigger version, and I need to figure out what that actually looks when it's in proper size. So there might be more room to play around with dialogue. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to. It's just kind of how it is. So yeah, this should be interesting. But I am glad that I started finally storyboarding. And weirdly enough, let me pull up that page again. This guy, and I know I'm just holding it to the camera. You can see it elsewhere too if you need more clear scans. But this guy here is inspired by just something I was doodling as one of the robot creatures, and he ended up kind of looking like a giraffe, I guess. Didn't intend for that. I think it looks cool. But yeah, I didn't really know that was going to be a part of the story until I did the loose thumbnails to figure it out. And yeah, so I don't know, it's good progress. I'm kind of working on it. I'll try and do more storyboard stuff throughout the week. Hopefully sometime soon we'll have a rough idea of the 6 pages laid out, and then I'll have to start refining it from there. So yeah, But not a very productive week, unfortunately, but a productive weekend, and still very hopeful about getting the stuff done. The deadline feels like it's coming up much closer than it really is. It's been about 16 days. And I feel like I should be farther along, but luckily I think I can still do it. I think this is still okay. I might have bit off a little more than I could chew by trying to actually finish a comic, but we'll see. We'll do this. So yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you next week. And a wild end screen appears. Saw that YouTube had this as a feature, and I figured, why not? It also makes me realize that I really need to figure out a music solution for these videos. Any advice is welcome.